What art supplies can we not do without when we pick up watercolour or invest in if we are already painting with this medium, but we've decided that we really want to dedicate ourselves to it and bring our skills to the next level? I get asked about what art supplies I use probably on a daily basis. So here I'm going to tell you what you really need, what not to waste your money on, and if you want to treat yourself, well, I will be giving you some advice on that too, because if you're anything like me, I'd purchase art supplies over a pair of new shoes any day. Hello, welcome to Drawings in a Drawer. This is Fiona Di Pinto, and on this channel we discuss everything watercolour and more. So if that is something you might be interested in, be sure to click on that notification bell so you won't miss any of my weekly videos. And now let's get into this topic. In the meanwhile, I will be unboxing some art supplies Meaden gifted to me. To be pretty honest, I was able to handpick every item, especially one I'd had my eye on for a while, having seen it around other art channels here on YouTube. This video is not sponsored, by the way, but there will be discounts for everything in the description box. These gorgeous art supplies definitely fall into the treat yourself category. Mixing paints in such a large porcelain tray is a delight. And the double wash bowl, well, I always tell my students to have 2 jars of water. It saves you so much time. But, very often I don't even do that myself. Probably I'm too lazy. But in the double wash bowl, the cups are attached, so you do it automatically. And it really does mean you have to get fresh water less frequently. And also your brushes will thank you for it. Your brushes' bristles will be squeaky clean for the next layers in your painting, which is always a good idea. The double rinse. Now, let me tell you what art supplies you must have. If you're a minimalist, you are going to love this because in watercolour, all you really need is 100% cotton watercolour paper. I talk about this extensively in my previous video, so I won't babble on about it again here. You will need 2 or 3 decent brushes. They don't even have to be expensive, and 3 good quality paints. There are so many professional brands out there. Some are more expensive, some are more affordable, and I won't be listing any specific ones here. Oh, and of course, you will also need 2 jars of water. I can throw in some kitchen paper or an old rag to soap up any puddles from your paper. And if I must, I will add a hairdryer, which you surely have in your bathroom. If you are adverse to watching paint dry, you will want to have that handy. Really, that's it. I have a few regrets when it comes to my earlier watercolour practice, and that is having bought so many different paints, having honestly spent so much money on the tubes and pans and all the different colours. If I could go back, I would only use 3 primary colours, any red, blue and yellow, and I would work with these before I moved on to anything else. I'm now, after several years, trying to limit my palette as much as possible because the glow of the final painting is just something that will blow you away. Not of my specific painting from this video. That's not what I mean, though it will help you notice how everything looks more cohesive and harmonious. So please give it a try if you haven't yet. And if you are just starting out in watercolour, consider buying only 3 paints, 3 primary colours. It will teach you so much about colour theory and it will make your focus sharp when painting, as there will be less distraction as you have less to choose from. I very often get asked what pencil I use for my initial sketch. I forgot to mention that among the must-haves, it really is. It will cost you $1 or less. It certainly is a must-have, as painting directly with watercolour can be a little abstract. I use a plain H2 pencil, it says at the end of every pencil, which means it's on the lighter spectrum of the pencil world. You can grab one of these almost anywhere. I only use these to create the foundation of my paintings, as I know the pencil marks will disappear under the layers of watercolour. I don't use this kind of pencil when practicing my sketching. I use darker ones or they wouldn't show up. In a way, this is a must-have to not only the pencil, but the sketching skills, the drawing skills. These are skills you always have to keep chiseling, so to speak, as they are the foundation of art, and especially with watercolour, where mistakes can't be concealed easily. What you see here is the result of this month's live sketching challenge on the theme of animals. In this session, we had great fun painting a parliament of owls from various references. Really, that's what a group of owls, a flock of owls, is called, a parliament of owls. I found it so poetic, like a murder of crows and the flamboyance of flamingos. Feel free to add more below if you know in the comments. If you'd like to join our amazing art community for live and recorded drawing and painting sessions, I will leave all information in the description box so you can check that out and maybe get the chance to meet other people from all over the world who share your passion. And for the must-haves, that's it. I think you could really get away with spending €30, which is more or less like $34, $35, to have everything you need if you want to stay on the simpler side of things and if you're not obsessed with art supplies. There are a few other things though that might come in handy, like white gouache or acrylic to paint in the highlights. You can leave the white of the paper as a highlight. All you have to do is be sure to paint around the highlights and not get them wet, and the paint won't go there. But it can be a little tricky if you are a beginner to have that level of control to keep your brush from invading the white spaces. So at times it's just easier to have a white to use at the end of your painting. In this video you will see me use Bleed Proof White by Dr. P.H. Martin, but I also use white gouache or white acrylic, always at the end of the painting. Another crucial supply you will need, and this isn't something that you can hold or touch, is very straightforward actually, but for many of us hard to implement, and that is consistency, persistence, and true passion. Watercolour is a fussy, rebellious medium, and you will have to go into this journey with a certain level of acceptance and a very solid amount of determination. Improvement is seen when practice is continuous. Watercolour will trip you up many times, but you have to be sure that you will not let this keep you from standing up again and keep going. I know that many, though not all of my audience here on YouTube, are beginners or people who are curious about watercolour and maybe they haven't started yet. And I just need you to know this in advance. But if you stick with it, it will be so worth it. I cannot even begin to describe how worth the effort this will be. Treat yourself to watercolor sketchbooks. I am a big supporter of watercolor sketchbooks because I feel more free in them, and also I can easily document my progress as I flip through the pages. I personally saw a huge jump in the evolution of my style when I started working in sketchbooks. Here you see me painting on a block of hot pressed watercolor paper by Meaden, but I very often feel like paintings on individual sheets are like pages that have fallen out of a book. I don't know if that resonates with any of you. Let me know. I am probably a storyteller more than a painter deep down, I think. When I paint, I want to create a world of magic I can escape into, and I think that's the case for many of us. And if that world is inside a book, even better. Now, let me specify that a lot of watercolour sketchbooks out there may not be suitable for watercolour. So that is one thing you might end up wasting your money on if you're not careful, if you don't know. But I wouldn't buy anything that does not contain 100% cotton paper and with pages that are less than 220 GSM, and that is the thickness of the paper. Preferably, I would go for 300 GSM, which is what I usually paint on. If you look back over my videos, you will get a glimpse into my favourite sketchbooks. I think experimenting on different papers, also cold pressed, hot pressed, and different brands, always pushes me outside of my comfort zone. And literally every time I find myself doing that, I notice something new about my style. I see myself growing. So treat yourself if this idea sounds exciting, but remember to check the info before you make your purchase, as these things can be pricey. And I am at the end of the video. I have realised this will probably have to be a two-parter because I keep thinking of things I should have said and that I have missed, though I believe I have got the crucial information in here. Good watercolour paper, 3 primary colours, and pencil. And of course, no negative talk. This has to be a journey of love towards yourself. I hope you will join our art community so we can get to know each other better and share our passion for this amazing medium that is watercolour. I will see you all next Sunday, and bye for now.